All right, so you're in LA and want the inside scoop on this week's weather? Well, we've got you covered. We've gone through all those forecasts, and we're bringing you just the need-to-know details.
What's really fascinating is that while LA is known for its sunshine, this week is going to be a bit of a weather roller coaster. We're seeing a gradual shift from cool and cloudy to something a lot warmer by the end of the week.
Okay, let's unpack this,
Yeah.
starting with right now, Thursday evening.
Yeah.
It's a chilly 12 degrees C in LA, definitely sweater weather,
Hmm.
mostly cloudy, bit humid, not a lot of wind, though.
Right, and that chill in the air, that's the remnants of a weather system that's been keeping things on the cooler side.
Ugh.
But hold on tight, because things are about to change.
Ooh, I love a good weather plot twist. So while Thursday night calls for cozy sweaters, what can we expect as we head into Friday?
Get ready for a temperature jump. Friday, we're still looking at mostly cloudy skies, but that thermometer is climbing to a high of 17 degrees C during the day. That's a full 5-degree increase.
Wow, that's a noticeable difference. Will those clouds be sticking around all weekend?
Saturday, yes. Expect those clouds to linger, but the temperature will hold steady at a comfortable 17 degrees C.
Hmm.
Now, Sunday is where things start to get really interesting.
Here's where it gets really interesting. I love it. Spill the details.
Sunday, those clouds finally begin to part, making way for some glorious sunshine. And along with that sunshine, we're looking at a high of 18 degrees C.
Sounds like perfect timing for hitting up some of those famous LA hiking trails. What about as we move into the work week? Will this trend of warmer temperatures continue?
Absolutely. Monday and Tuesday, we'll see partly cloudy skies, but those temperatures just keep climbing. Monday, you're looking at 19 degrees C, and Tuesday, we hit a lovely 20 degrees C.
Okay, so things are definitely heating up, but I'm curious. With those daytime temperatures rising, what can we expect for nighttime? Will it be warm enough for those late night rooftop parties?
Here's where it gets a bit tricky. While the days are getting warmer, the nights are going to stay surprisingly cool.
Oh, that is interesting. So we might need to pack a light jacket for those evening strolls.
Exactly. For example, Tuesday night, the temperature dips all the way down to 10 degrees C. That's a big swing from the daytime high of 20 degrees C.
Okay, so layers are definitely key this week. What about Wednesday? Will those cool nights continue?
Wednesday is when we really see a return to classic LA sunshine. We're expecting clear skies and a beautiful high of 22 degrees C.
All right, that sunshine is definitely calling my name. Any chance of rain this week, or are we in the clear?
Based on the current forecast, it looks like you can leave those umbrellas at home. No rain in sight for the next 7 days.
Music to my ears. I'm already picturing myself soaking up that sunshine. What about the wind? Any chance of those infamous Santa Ana winds making an appearance?
The good news is the wind shouldn't be a major factor this week. We're expecting relatively calm conditions with light breezes throughout the week.
Okay, so calm winds, clear skies, and gradually warming temperatures sound like a pretty ideal week in LA to me.
I'd have to agree. And the best part, it gets even better as the week goes on.
Wait, it gets even better than sunshine and 22 degrees. I'm intrigued. What else is in store for us?
The current forecast predicts that next Thursday, a week from now, will be the warmest day of the week, reaching a glorious 23 degrees C with clear, sunny skies.
Wow, a perfect end to the week. So we've got this fascinating transition from cool and cloudy to warm and sunny. It's like LA is showcasing all its weather personalities in just 7 days.
Exactly. And that's what makes this week's forecast so interesting. It's not just about the numbers. It's about how those numbers create opportunities for you to experience LA in different ways.
I love that perspective. So for someone planning their week around this forecast, what would you suggest? How can we make the most of these shifting weather patterns?
Well, with those cooler evenings at the beginning of the week, it's the perfect time to explore LA's vibrant indoor scene. Think art galleries, cozy jazz clubs, or even catching a show at the iconic Walt Disney Concert Hall.
Ooh, I'm already picturing myself sipping a latte in a dimly lit bookstore while it's cool and cloudy outside. Then as the weekend rolls around and those temperatures rise, it's time to embrace the outdoors.
Absolutely. Sunday's sunshine is practically begging you to head to the beach. Imagine strolling along the Santa Monica Pier, feeling the warmth of the sun on your face, or maybe even trying your hand at surfing.
Okay, I'm sold. Sunday is definitely a beach day. Now, for those who might be visiting LA for the first time, what advice would you give them about packing for this kind of weather? It seems like a little bit of everything is on the menu this week.
You hit the nail on the head. Packing for LA can be tricky because the temperature can change dramatically throughout the day. My top tip would be to pack in layers.
Layers are key. I'm hearing that loud and clear.
Exactly. You'll want lighter clothing for those warmer afternoons, but also a jacket or sweater for those cooler evenings and mornings. A light scarf can also be a lifesaver.
And what about accessories? Any must-haves for an LA weather week like this?
Don't forget a good pair of sunglasses. You'll definitely need those for those sunny days, especially when you're out exploring the city.
Sunglasses are essential for sure. But with this week's forecast being all sunshine and no rain, I guess we can leave those umbrellas at home.
You got it. The current forecast shows no chance of rain, so you can enjoy those clear skies without worrying about getting caught in a downpour.
That's always good news. So we've got the outfits planned, the sunglasses ready. But I'm curious, is there anything else we should be thinking about in relation to this week's weather? Any hidden factors that might surprise us?
That's a great question, and it leads us to a really important point. While this week's forecast is all about mild temperatures and sunshine, it's a good reminder that LA's weather can be unpredictable, especially in the context of broader climate patterns.
That's a really important point to bring up. I know LA has experienced some pretty extreme weather events in recent years, from intense heat waves to wildfires.
Exactly. And those events are becoming more frequent and severe, which highlights the need for awareness and preparation. This week's gradual warming trend, while pleasant, can also serve as a subtle reminder of how climate change might be impacting our local weather patterns.
That's a powerful takeaway for our listeners. Even when we're enjoying a week of beautiful weather like this, it's important to stay informed about the long-term impacts of climate change on our environment and be prepared for a wider range of weather conditions.
Absolutely. We've talked about layers for clothing, but layering your knowledge about the weather and climate is equally important.
I love that analogy. It's like we can enjoy the sunshine today, but also be mindful of the bigger picture. So, with that in mind, what else can you tell us about this week's forecast? Any other details that might help us plan our LA adventures?
One thing that stands out to me is the relatively low humidity levels throughout the week.
Well, that's interesting. I know humidity can make a big difference in how the temperature feels. What does this mean for someone experiencing this week's LA weather?
Even with the temperatures rising, the low humidity will make it feel much more comfortable. You won't have that sticky, heavy feeling that you sometimes get in other parts of the country.
So it'll be like perfect California sunshine, warm but not overwhelming. I'm already feeling more relaxed just thinking about it. What about the UV index? With all that sunshine, should we be concerned about sun protection?
That's a great question, and it's always a good idea to be sun safe, especially in LA. As the week progresses and we see more sunshine, the UV index will likely increase.
So what are your top tips for staying protected from those strong LA rays?
First and foremost, sunscreen is your best friend. Make sure to apply a broad-spectrum sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or higher, even on cloudy days.
That's a great reminder. Sunscreen is definitely non-negotiable in LA, no matter the forecast.
Exactly. And don't forget a hat and sunglasses to protect your face and eyes. Seeking shade during the peak sunshine hours, usually between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., is also a good idea.
Great advice. Now, I know we've been focusing on the daytime temperatures and sunshine, but let's go back to those cooler nights for a moment. We know we need layers, but is there anything else we should keep in mind about those temperature dips in the evenings?
Well, what's fascinating about these cooler nights is that they're actually caused by a unique combination of factors, including the cool ocean currents that flow along the California coast.
Oh, that's interesting. So even though we're inland, the ocean is still influencing our weather.
Absolutely. These currents bring in cooler air, especially at night, which helps to moderate the temperatures and create that refreshing evening chill.
Wow, I never knew the ocean played such a role in LA's weather. So we're not just experiencing the sun and the city, we're also feeling the influence of the Pacific Ocean.
Exactly. And that connection to the ocean is a big part of what makes LA's climate so unique. It's a delicate balance between the warmth of the sun and the coolness of the ocean.
Okay, so we've covered everything from the daytime highs to the nighttime lows, from sunscreen tips to the influence of the ocean. I feel like we've truly deep dived into this week's LA weather.
We've definitely covered a lot, but there's always more to explore, especially when it comes to weather.
I'm all ears. What else have you got for us? So we've got this amazing week of weather ahead in LA, starting cool and cloudy, then transitioning to warm and sunny. It's almost like we're getting two vacations in one. But before we wrap up,
Sure.
I'm curious about something. We've talked about packing layers for our outfits, but you mentioned layering our knowledge about weather and climate. Can you expand on that a bit?
Absolutely. Think of it this way. Understanding weather is like knowing what to wear each day, but understanding climate is like knowing what kind of wardrobe you need for the entire season.
Okay, I like that analogy. It's about seeing the bigger picture, right?
Exactly. This week's forecast might be all sunshine and smiles, but it's happening within the context of changing climate. We're seeing more extreme weather events globally, and even though this week is mild, it's a good reminder to stay informed about those long-term trends.
That makes a lot of sense. So even while we're enjoying this beautiful LA weather, we should also be thinking about how we can be more prepared for future weather events, right?
Precisely. It's about being proactive, not reactive. And knowledge is a powerful tool when it comes to preparedness.
So what kind of knowledge should we be seeking out? Where can we go to learn more about these climate patterns and how they might impact our lives even beyond this week's forecast?
Well, there are some fantastic resources available. Organizations like the National Weather Service and the Environmental Protection Agency provide a wealth of information on climate change, its potential impacts, and what we can do to mitigate those impacts.
Those are great resources. And are there any specific actions we can take on an individual level to be more prepared for future weather events?
Even small actions can make a big difference. Creating a household emergency plan, having a go bag ready with essential supplies, and staying informed about local weather alerts are all great steps to take.
I love that you're emphasizing individual action. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the scale of climate change, but it's empowering to know that we can each do our part to be more prepared and resilient.
Absolutely. And remember, preparedness isn't just about physical safety, it's also about mental well-being. Knowing what to expect and having a plan in place can significantly reduce stress and anxiety during a weather emergency.
That's such an important point. So we're not just prepping our homes and our backpacks, we're also prepping our minds.
Exactly. And on that note, as we wrap up our deep dive into this week's LA weather,
Okay.
I'd like to leave you with one final thought.
I'm all ears. What's got you pondering?
We've talked about how this week's weather transitions from cool to warm, offering diverse experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But what if we thought of that transition as a metaphor for our own approach to climate change? We can start by embracing the enjoyable moments like this week's sunshine, while also acknowledging the need to prepare for future challenges.
Wow, I love that metaphor. It's like we can enjoy the present while also being mindful of the future. It's a powerful reminder that even amidst a week of beautiful weather, there's always more to learn, more to do, and more to discover.
Well said.
So there you have it, your comprehensive week ahead weather guide for Los Angeles. From cloudy and cool to sunny and warm, it's a week full of possibilities. Remember to layer up both your clothes and your knowledge. Pack those sunglasses and get ready to experience the best of LA both indoors and out. And most importantly, stay curious, stay informed, and stay prepared.